Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources. In this segment of Helping Seniors TV, program host Kerry Fink visits with staff writer Brittany Mulligan of Hometown News about the weekly paper's reach throughout Brevard County. And I'm Kerry Fink, and what a pleasure it is to be here on Helping Seniors TV. We are on location at the Melbourne Auditorium, and we are here, this is 2017, it's March of 2017, and we're here at the Mega Senior Expo. It's a wonderful event. It's put together by the great folks at Central Florida Expos, and the place is packed. If the cameras could turn around, you would see a room full of people who are here getting good information on senior issues and things that will help them improve their own aging plans. So, as you know, our founder and president, Joe Steckler, had a lifelong passion for doing media and making sure that we reach seniors throughout Brevard County. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is media in Brevard County. And our guest on this edition of Helping Seniors TV is Brittany Mulligan. And
Hi.
Brittany is a staff writer with Hometown News, a very, very popular newspaper. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but welcome to the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, and we are such good friends with Hometown News. We appreciate the fact that for many years now, you guys have helped Joe Steckler, our president and founder, get his articles out about information for seniors. And we get calls all the time on the Senior Information Hotline where people are saying, thank you, this is good information, we're reading it, we look forward to seeing all this every time we get a new copy of Hometown News. So that makes us feel good, but it must also make you guys feel good too.
Yeah, it's wonderful just to get the feedback from our readers. So,
Yeah, and so here you guys are. You help promote all the events that go on for seniors in the area. You're a wonderful newspaper. You have all kinds of things that are going on. But let me start first and ask a few questions about you. You're a staff writer. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to the Hometown News.
All right, well, I graduated from the University of South Florida in 2014. I had a major in mass communications, and I've always loved writing, so I went into newspaper, magazine, journalism. And I was lucky enough that when I moved home shortly afterwards, I found Hometown News, so I started freelancing for them, and I got to know the paper a lot better. And when a position opened up, they asked me to interview, and of course I was interested in doing that, so I ended up finding my dream job.
I was just going to say that when we were talking before they started rolling the cameras, you were saying this really is your dream job. Tell me a little bit about what you enjoy about what you do at Hometown News.
Well, I really love that it's a local paper because I'm finding out so much more about our businesses, our restaurants, and the people itself, like the nonprofits. And so it's just great when I get to find out things I can do on a Friday night or Saturday night, or even during the middle of the week, like checking out the Senior Expo.
You know, that's really the benefit. I have a friend of ours that often says, you know, all life is lived local. So even though you may be aware of national news or international news, we all come home at the end of the day. This is our home. And that's really what you guys do, is you cover the Hometown News. And I would say hence the name, right? Tell me a little bit about what are the kind of stories that you guys get feedback from readers. They say, this is what we really appreciate what you guys cover for us.
Well, I love talking to Nina Varuso about the Senior Expo because that's something that really hits home. We have all these seniors who don't know about these free resources out there for them, as well as we like to cover the different events going on, and I love checking up on what nonprofits are doing just so they can see that aspect of it.
You know, and when you think about it, this is another aspect. We live in a county that we have about 550,000 people in our county, and the line that we talk about is that 50% of our population is over 50, which, like by AARP definition, makes them seniors. So half of our county is defined as a senior, and actually the statistic is then 1 out of 4 is actually 65 plus. So that's one of the reasons we exist, is we're here to help seniors, but I know that's an important part of what you guys do in getting that information out to seniors. Tell us a little bit about what, if somebody is not familiar, which is hard to imagine that they would not be familiar with Hometown News, what are the things that they would find that would be important that they should know, or benefits of reading Hometown News? What kind of things do you cover in there?
Well, we're covering just important matters to our residents, so from different healthcare issues to just anything local. When we have, like, if we have an emergency coming up, hurricane, we have our hurricane guide, and we just like to inform them about, like, the different free things that they can get, or the resources that are important to them, as well as just what they can find in our own county, in their own backyard.
Right. And I know something that's very special, I think, about Hometown News is you treat the county as it really is local. It's not just one paper that's for the whole county. You actually divide the county up, and you make sure people in the north end of the county get news specifically for them.
Yes.
How many different editions? Talk a little bit about how you guys work the county like that, and how many different editions? I think it's like 5 editions. Or
Yeah,
something.
we do. We have 5 different editions covering from North Brevard, which is all Titusville, Cocoa Beach, down to Palm Bay. So that way, like, you're not, if you're living in Palm Bay, you're not finding out you will find stories that are taking place sometimes in Sunshine Riviera, but you're going to find the local, very local aspect of what's going on in Palm Bay.
And that really does break it down to local, because we always joke and say, well, if I live in Palm Bay and I need to get tires from my car, I'm probably going to look for somebody more or less geographically in my area. I wouldn't normally drive to Cocoa for that, but if I lived in Cocoa, conversely, I wouldn't necessarily want to drive to Palm Bay to do that. So it really is important that you guys cover that. Now, you have a tremendous readership. There's something like, I think, close to 60,000 copies each time you publish. How often do you publish? Tell me a little bit about that.
So we're a weekly publication. We ship out usually on, like, Thursday, so you'll see it on your driveway Thursday or Friday. And yeah, we have about 60,000 readers, so.
It is amazing. So now I was going to ask me my next question. How do people get the magazine normally? What's a good way for them to get it?
Well, it's a free subscription. You can either call us and sign up over the phone, or you can go online and check us out there. Sometimes people get unsubscribed. We're not really sure what happens there. We get a lot of phone calls saying, I used to get the paper, what happened? But don't worry, it just takes 2 minutes to give us your name and address, and you'll get the paper within a week or 2.
Wow. So for real, it's a free subscription.
Yes.
So if I was living at home, and let's say for sake of argument, it's difficult for me to get out, you would actually get the newspaper to my house.
Yeah, we can have it at your driveway. Sometimes gated communities are a little trickier. We will have a rack at the community.
Sure.
So you may not get it at your door, but you just have to go to your main community center, and there it'll be.
That's amazing. So what's the number that they would call, or do you know that off the top of your head, or how they would access if they wanted to make a subscription? They would just call the office?
Yeah, they just call our office, and just like I said, check out our website. I want to say it's hometownnewsol.com.
That's right. It is. And the reason I know that is because whenever Joe publishes his article, and his article comes up 2 times a month, so every other issue of Hometown News, you can look for Joe Steckler's article in the Hometown News. And the reason I know it's online is because that's how we go and read it. We click online, hometownnewsol.com, and then we find the edition that's appropriate for us, whether it be, there's one for Melbourne, there's one for Palm Bay, and like you said, there's 5 different editions, and then you literally can flip through the magazine online, read articles. If you're curious what's going on in another part of town, you just click over to that edition. It's really pretty cool.
Yeah, similarly, if you want to know what's going on in Indian River County, you can have access to that too. So.
That's right. Thank you for bringing that up, because really you guys cover more. You cover more than just Brevard County. You have publications literally through a large part of the state.
Yeah, along the East Coast from Volusia County to Martin County, Indian River. So we try to cover a lot,
No, it's fantastic. So I want to talk a little bit about helping seniors and the relationship that we have with Hometown News. Now, our president and founder, he's Joe Steckler. He's a retired Navy captain. Joe, his last command, he's a submariner. He commanded a submarine, so it's really cool to hear him tell, like, submarine stories. But his last command in the Navy was he was in charge of the Navy retirement home in Gulfport, Mississippi. So he retires here to Florida, just over by the Air Force Base, and he decides to get started working in developing the Alzheimer's Foundation here locally. They created all the Joe's Clubs and all of that. Joe retires from that. He's anxious to do more for seniors because he said, you know, there's other issues seniors face. So he forms Helping Seniors of Brevard. And the whole reason for us is to get that information out and into the community. And so that's why you guys have been such great friends of the organization, helping Joe get this vital information out. Because when we do our senior surveys, believe it or not, the #1 issue that we hear back all the time is that the most important thing to seniors is getting information that's helpful to them.
Wow.
Because there's many good programs in the county, but if you don't know they exist, it's not going to help you. So we have just a couple minutes left, but you were telling me something really cool that you guys are just starting up called Hometown Heroes.
Yes,
and I want to be the first on camera to nominate Joe Steckler for that, because when you were describing it, I was like, wow, this sounds like Joe. But tell us what it is and how people should nominate people, or how they would get involved in this program.
Well, we're always looking for more stories about our hometown heroes, which covers the local veterans. We're talking about active military and our firefighters, and so we just want to honor them for all the work they've been doing for us.
So is it actually in the paper? Is it a special section? How do you guys work with that?
So it's a little add-on paper that's added to the newspaper. So when you get your copy of Hometown News, you open it up and you're going to get this insert, and that's what it is, Hometown Heroes.
So then it'd be like an item that you could pull out and have framed and put on your wall.
Exactly, yeah.
That is
yeah,
so cool.
Especially if your own story's in there.
Oh, I know, I love it. So how do people like nominate, or how do you get your story ideas, or what would things that would be helpful for you guys on that?
Well, it would be great for any readers to just email us and email me, myself or Tammy. We usually have a little freelancer who's doing that for us because it's extra work. But we love being able to hear about our national heroes and our local heroes.
Well, we have probably just a little bit over a minute left, so I wanted to ask you, in terms of your own perspective, going to senior events like this, and like I said, I mean, the place is packed.
Yeah.
It's a happening spot. But my question to you is, what are the things that we can work on together to help make life better for seniors in Brevard County? What ideas do you have? I mean, I really appreciate you guys carrying the articles. Just any thoughts?
Well, I would love to hear more feedback from our readers, because that way we can hear what's important to them, if there's any type of health issue they like covered more, or any other, maybe senior activities. Maybe they want to know what's kind of going on that seniors can participate in.
Well, that's really good. Well, Brittany, I sure do appreciate you taking the time to step out of your role, because I guess you're covering this as a reporter, right? you're like Clark Kent or something on the scene with all this. But this is really good, and thank you for taking the time to stop by and talk with us today on Helping Seniors, and thank you for all the work you do for helping seniors.
No problem. I love being able to meet everyone and just let them know what we have here. We have a lot of free resources and important resources. So thank you.
Thanks again.
Now more of Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network, informing, educating, and connecting. In this segment of Helping Seniors TV, program host Kerry Fink visits with John Trieste, AARP volunteer for Brevard County.
So I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors TV, Helping Seniors of Brevard, and we are live and on location here at the Mega Senior Expo. We're at the Melbourne Auditorium in Melbourne, Florida, and what a day this is. The place is packed. There's entertainment going on. There are literally something like 70 plus vendors here, and many, many people getting good information that's going to help them along the way. And so, as you know, with Helping Seniors, one of the things we like to do is get out and talk to people in the public, and really it's how we connect with seniors. And we have a great senior gentleman resource who is an expert at this, a fellow New Yorker for a number of years, John Trieste, who is a volunteer with AARP, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But welcome, John, to the show today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's so good to see you here. Now, among other things, besides chairing the New York committee of people who come from New York and get together for lunch, you're also really, really active as a volunteer with AARP. And I want to talk a little bit about your background and how you came into that role.
Okay. As Mr. Fink mentioned, I'm from New York. I was born in New York, grew up in New York, and worked in New York. I was devoted 50 years in the printing industry. And when I retired, which was 20 years ago, we moved to Florida. And we moved to Melbourne, following my daughter and her 2 children down. She had lost her husband, and she was quite distraught, and she moved to Florida. We followed her down. What had happened was that my wife one day came to me, and she gave me the keys to the car. And she said, you know, it's funny, I can't find my way home now.
Oh, my goodness.
So I said, oh, this is not good. So I went to my primary physician, and my primary physician said, she's in the early stage of dementia. So I asked her, I said, well, what can I do, doctor? And the doctor said, the doctor is still here in Satellite Beach. That's Dr. Mally Connie, and a very, very bright woman. And she said, I'll give you a tip. What you need to do is to educate yourself and get support. So I said, okay, I'll devote my time to that. So at that point, and this is 20 years ago, this is in the late 90s, and by the way, she had this deteriorating dementia which progressed into Alzheimer's for almost 15 years. So if you want to know anything about caregiving, I was a caregiver right to the very, very end. So I went out and I seeked out sources of support and education. And I came across Lisa's Club. And this is a group that was founded by Lisa Gibbons, and she's a television personality and still is. Her mother had come down with Alzheimer's. And so this is back in the early 2000s, and Lisa's place was under the umbrella of Health First, and they had an office at Dairy Road. So I attended almost, and I took my wife too. She was mobile. She was in good physical shape, except mentally. We went to all their programs. And then when they moved to the Aging Institute on Babcock Street, I moved along with them there. So back in 2010, she eventually passed away. I did send her brain to the brain bank, and this is something everybody should do. It went up to the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, and back came a 3-page report on what had happened. So one of the other things I did was to get involved in health organizations. Mm-hmm. Immediately I heard of the Brevard Assisted Living Association.
Right.
So I joined that organization, and I've been a member there for 15 years. I also heard about the Brevard Association of Human Services. Mm-hmm. They meet once a month also. And I've been involved with them for the past 15, 18 years.
You really have devoted just really your time to making sure seniors. I know you write an article, for example, that appears in you said every month in the local paper, right?
Well, that article has really nothing to do with health. It has to do, well, it does have something to do with health because it's local travel.
Right.
I write an article for a publication. It's a Brevard newspaper. It's called Senior Life of Brevard. And it's a monthly newspaper. And back in about 12 years ago, the publisher, Jill Blue Gaines, asked me, because she saw I was involved in a lot of health organizations, sure, if I was able, or I'd be willing to submit an article on something that I thought was necessary. So I looked at her publication and other publications, Senior Scene, Spotlight. There's a number of good publications, sure, here in Brevard County, and Senior Scene. Vieiro Voice, she's opened a number of them. And I felt that there was nothing on local travel. And I like to travel. When I was in New York, I traveled extensively.
Sure.
In the Adirondacks, in the Poconos, and the Catskills. For those folks
Sure.
that are not from the New York area, you don't know those destinations, but they were magnificent destinations
Yes.
for New Yorkers
Yes.
and people out of Philadelphia to break away for a weekend or
Sure.
a vacation. And by the way, I've written a number of articles. There's one article I've written on the Catskills, an update on the Catskills today, which is, unfortunately, most of those resorts have closed.
It's changed a lot over the years.
Changed dramatically. And the same thing with the Poconos. Even the Poconos seem to be doing a lot better than the Catskills.
Well, let's talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears and talk a little bit about the work that you do. I met you first coming to many of these senior events like today, and you're always here tirelessly presenting the AARP calendar of social events or senior events. Talk a little bit about
Could you
that.
hand me that?
This is something that you're famous for, is like handing these like papers out, and you're diligent about keeping up with all the information of things that seniors should be aware of.
Well, let me back up a little bit. And one of the other organizations I got involved in down here immediately was AARP.
Right?
Because AARP, nationally and locally, is the voice for seniors. It's an unbiased voice for seniors. I started with the local chapters. When I first arrived here, we had 7 chapters in Brevard County. Unfortunately, over the years, it's dwindled down to 2, and I don't want to dwell on why that happened, but I recognize that the chapters attracted a lot of seniors. The Beachside chapter here in Satellite Beach turns out 80 to 100 members every month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually, they won the award a number of years ago as the #1 Florida chapter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we have a big banner that they presented us from headquarters.
Sure.
So I found that health fairs, there were quite a few health fairs here in Brevard County. Actually, more health fairs in Brevard County than in any other county in the state of Florida. Hard to believe, but it is. It's a fact. So I put together, and I've been doing this for years, a calendar of health fairs. And I diligently update this every time I hear of another one. And the organizers of these chapters are more than happy to give me their dates.
Yeah.
So this calendar goes right up to the end of the year, 2017. And I'm asking the organizers to give me the 2018 dates, so that everybody could plan. You got to plan ahead. Not only the organizers, but the vendors, so they don't compete with each other
Right.
when they go to these health fairs.
And we're going to organize to make sure. We already do now. We use your list to help put up on the Helping Seniors website and our Facebook page about when these events are occurring. If somebody's interested in getting involved in an AARP chapter, what would you tell them they should do? How would they best get involved directly? Come to one of the meetings, or what's the best way if somebody really wants to become involved?
Okay, if you're located here in Brevard, we have 2 chapters that are operating, still functioning. One is in Satellite Beach, Indian Harbor Beach, and the other one is in Palm Bay.
Okay.
They both meet once a month, 12 months out of the year.
Okay.
So if they would like, they could contact me. My email is John Trieste. I'll spell that TRIESTE @gmail.com. And if you email me, I will email you back the calendar for the
Wonderful.
chapters.
And we'll make sure, too, that we get the dates posted onto the Helping Senior side, because it's exciting. I think it's important. As you know, Joe Steckler, who's our founder and president, he's always been very serious about making sure that we get information to people all throughout the county. That's one of the reasons why we're so active on media, with the television, the radio, all the print things that we do on those levels. We want to make sure people are having a good source for information. So as we go down the road, it's very important that we partner together to help get that information
Absolutely.
to seniors.
We've got to get the message out. Now, the other thing I discovered under the umbrella of AARP is the AARP Foundation. And a lot of people would recognize their services. Number one, the foundation offers driver safety courses all over the country. Secondly, they have tax aid, particularly at this time of year when you have to file your taxes.
Wow, that's a good
So
service.
that's a free service. The driver safety, there's a nominal charge, less than $20 a person. Now, the third area, and which I thought was very, very important, is the recruitment. They have an employment source right here in Brevard County. It's right here on Babcock and Hibiscus.
Right.
Now, if you're 55 and over and you're looking to come back into the workforce, they have a free placement service.
Wow.
In addition to that, they will train you on today's skills.
Wow.
Particularly in the area of computers. So I would like to give you that telephone number right now.
Please do.
The Melbourne office, the area code is 321. And the number is 956-1444. We have two other offices, but one in Palm Bay and one up in Rockledge.
This is good information.
So it's really, we talk about seniors helping seniors. This is exactly what a senior, because I come across many seniors who, as you well know, are living longer and running out of their funds.
This is a great service you guys are doing, and we really look forward to partnering with you on all of this. So we've got we're actually out of time, but I really wanted to tell you to thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
We're going to have to do more of these for sure.
Okay.
So it's a pleasure to see you today. Thank you for all the good work that you're doing with AARP, and we're looking forward to getting all this information out to everybody connected with helping seniors as well. Thank
and
you.
on a last note, God bless Joe Steckler.
Amen.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
He is a role model for seniors.
Yes,
I must say.
when I'm 83, I want to be Joe Steckler. He's doing great. He's an inspiration for all of us.
And thank you for the opportunity today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we would welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.